Hello everybody, Zoey Purplevalley here, and we are back with another vlog. It's been about 2 weeks since my last vlog, and I've been having so much fun here on Jorvik, especially at the riding camp, getting to hang out with Sylvie and ride horses. The past 2 weeks have mainly been filled with a lot of the riding basics as we learned more about English riding specifically, so it's been just a lot of walk, try, and a little bit of cantering. Not a lot yet. But it hasn't been nothing very interesting, so I haven't been too keen to film. That being said, I do have an Instagram, and it is just at Zoey Purplevalley, all one word, and I am going to be trying to post on this Instagram in between filming, just so there's a little bit of content going out when there's nothing really interesting to film. That being said, the reason why we're filming today actually is because we are going to be trying Western riding today. Gretchen said that Moreland specifically does really like to give their riders a chance to pick which discipline they prefer, and then after picking a discipline, we'd get the chance to figure out what type of riding specifically we'd like to go into, like if we wanted to go into pole bending, barrel racing, reining, dressage, show jumping, hunters, cross country, or just straight up eventing. So this is the beginning of exactly that, and we're going to be riding Western today. Now, I need to hurry up and, of course, head to the stable because Sylvie has already left to tack up B Bramble for the lesson, and I decided to stay behind so I could record this intro, so let's get going. About an hour before the lesson, both Thunder and Bee Bramble had finished up a farrier visit, so they were both stalled instead of in turnout before the lesson today. By the time I got to the stable, Sylvie was already done tacking up Bee Bramble and was getting ready to head off for the lesson, so we exchanged quick hellos before I headed straight for Thunder's stall, as I needed to get him groomed and tacked. After getting groomed, Thunder decided to get a little bit goofy and started waving at me. I guess he enjoyed the groom. So next it was time to get Thunder all tacked up in the Western gear. In preparation for today, Gretchen did previously show us how to tack up the horses with the Western gear. It wasn't extremely different, but it was enough to warrant being shown how to tack up a horse again. So after putting on the helmet I bought over the weekend, I quickly mounted Thunder so I could rush off to join Sylvie for the lesson. I did end up being just a little bit late for the lesson as Sylvie was already warming up Bee Bramble by the time I got there. Gretchen really wasn't too impressed but quickly got me to warm up Thunder alongside Sylvie. I guess that teaches me to prioritize filming an intro over getting to my lesson on time. I could possibly say that this lesson was most similar to the one we had on day one when we first started with English writing. The lesson today was just focused on getting us used to the Western tack and of course understanding the difference between English writing and Western writing. I honestly found Western writing a little bit odd to get used to at first. It's definitely pretty different from English writing, as English writing seems to have more use of the reins and contact with the bit, as opposed to Western writing, which seems to have a lot more focus on controlling with your legs. Not to say that you don't use your legs when you're writing English, that couldn't be more wrong. I just felt like my legs got more of a workout when I was writing Western this first time than I did the first time I sat in an English saddle. The main thing Gretchen wanted us to understand was how to correctly move your horse when riding Western, explaining what position your legs should usually be in, as well as how to use your legs to turn the horse. Moving Thunder like this felt so weird with how used to using the reins I was. Instead, we had to move our legs forward whenever we wanted our horses to use their shoulders, or reach our leg back when we wanted them to move their hindquarters. Of course, if you were using your inner or outer leg mattered a lot when doing this. Thunder is an absolute natural with Western riding. I was a little surprised with how good he seemed to be with English riding, but I don't doubt he's so used to schooling new riders, he's probably done this a million times, so he's made learning this surprisingly easy. We were doing so well today that Gretchen ended up calling us to the middle of the arena so she could teach us how to back up our horses as well. To back up our horses, Gretchen instructed us to shift our weight back and put a bit of pressure on the reins while we use our legs to urge our horses to move backwards. It took a second for both of us to figure it out, but of course we did manage to eventually figure it out without too much trouble. Gretchen was confident that we understood what she had taught us. She sent us back to circling around the arena so we could continue to practice using our legs while steering. Sylvie tried to take the lead for a little bit, but Thunder was moving a little too quickly for Bee Bramble and Sylvie was starting to get nervous, so Gretchen had to direct me to take Thunder in front of Bee Bramble. As Sylvie and I started to get more comfortable with how we were turning the horses, Gretchen decided to see if she could get both of us to turn our horses in a complete circle at the same time. We did manage to do it fairly easily, and Gretchen even joined in with our little circle. It was honestly a lot of fun and a little bit funny. As we began nearing the end of our lesson, Gretchen decided to give us the opportunity to try cantering with the Western tack for the first time. Gretchen also told us that the canter was commonly called the lope with Western riding, which is something I didn't actually know. I will say that I did find that cantering in the Western saddle felt a lot more stable than it did when cantering in the English saddle. I think that might just have something to do with the Western saddle being a lot bigger. After taking a full lap around the arena at a canter, Gretchen finally decided to end the lesson, so she ushered us both to the middle of the arena so she could take a moment to talk to us about the lesson. Overall, Gretchen was very proud of us, and she was also very excited to be teaching Western because it is, of course, her chosen discipline. She told us what we'd be working on within the next few weeks before we would finally be deciding on exactly what discipline we would like to commit to, either it be Western or English going forward. She also took a moment to lightly scold me for being late. I feel like I'm starting to create a track record every time I start vlogging. I always do something to get myself in a little bit of trouble. But with the lesson done, she finally told us that we could dismount and start cooling off the horses before getting ready to turn them out for the night. And with that, I want to thank you all so much for joining me today, and I cannot wait to see you guys with the next video. I know today wasn't too interesting as it was just a basic beginning lesson for Western riding, but Gretchen was saying that we've been doing pretty well, so if this continues within the next week or two, she does really want to take us out on a trail ride. So in preparation for that, I did actually go ahead and buy myself a GoPro. So if all goes to plan, we will be getting a GoPro trail ride sometime in the coming weeks. So again, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Have a great day. Good day.